Rohit Sharma coming out to toss, suddenly in the eyes of India as a whole, suddenly the conversation has moved from Kolkata, it has moved from Hyderabad, it has moved from Mumbai. The conversation is now centered around India. Is Rohit Sharma fit to play for Mumbai but not for India? How bad is his hamstring? Will he be able to run hard between wickets? Will he dart back for the second run? Where will he field? Will he stay at that 45 short fine leg and not chase? So, and remember, this is not a game he had to play. That means Mumbai are testing him out in this game. And if he comes through this game, he'll be okay to play the other games. So clearly Mumbai are testing him out here. And everybody else is looking. All the physios are looking at him. All the captains are looking at him. This game has suddenly become as much about Rohit as it is about Hyderabad qualifying or Kolkata qualifying.
Because he plays the first qualifier in 48 hours. They play against Delhi on Thursday, today being a Tuesday. Thursday, they play their first qualifier against Delhi. So literally, did Rohit...
They're not... Yeah.
Sorry, Harsha.
They're not an irresponsible franchise. There's no franchise here that you can call irresponsible.
And neither is he. Yeah. Rohit is not an irresponsible player. He's a legend. I mean, when you talk about Indian cricket, he'll go down as a legend. You talk about white ball world over, he's definitely a legend in the limited overs format. And it's interesting. But I tell you, when I saw him walking out, my first thought was, the plot thickens. Yes, Joy? The plot thickens.
Exactly. But I'll tell you what would have happened. MI would have had every MRI, every report that Mumbai has would have been sent to the BCCI. That is procedure. Every team has to do it. And remember one thing, the fraternity of physios is a very, very close fraternity across India, across the sea. The reason is because they all depend on each other. You know, if this guy is not going to be fit. So, for example, before the season, okay, the MI physio would have been asking the India physio, how is he, how is his fitness, what is his reports, what's he looking like. So that happens all the time. So this guy would have first said, you know what, this is it. Secondly, there are situations with hammies where you can play but not aggravate your injuries. And if there is a case like that, it would have been clearly stated. Now you have two options. You can say, you know, but why is he still playing? A bit more rest can get him better. That then is a choice of Rohit, and that then is a choice of the franchise. I don't think Rohit would ever cross the line where he would further injure himself to put himself in jeopardy for an Indian player.
Can I tell you something? And what you're saying actually gets validated by the fact that he's coming out to play today. It's a game that does not matter to MI at all. It's a game that does not matter to their prospects in the tournament. It doesn't matter to Rohit. It doesn't matter to anyone. So the fact that he's come out to play today just goes to show that, I mean, it's not like he's putting himself irresponsibly in the line of fire, right? Because he just did not have to today. He's coming out to play because these are the murmurs that we actually heard. I mean, these were whispers. We've spoken about this. I don't know where they were coming from, but we could hear that he may play on the third, he may play the final game. These were just things that were coming. Well, it's happened today. He's coming out to play. He will be captaining Mumbai. And of course, Hyderabad has won the toss and Mumbai is going to be batting first. This is what... Sorry?
Yeah, the reason he's playing today is if he has to hobble out for the whatever reason, we wish that doesn't happen. We don't want that to happen. But if he finds that he's turning, he has to hobble out, this game is better than a playoff game. So they're testing him today.
Yep.
Right? But the fact that they are testing him in the light of the fact that India has chosen not to play him is absolutely huge. And what Joy is saying is absolutely true. That there would have been a conversation. I'll tell you that an Australian team physio will also have been in touch with the individual physios of the teams that Australian players are playing in, English players are playing in. This always happens. So what Ravi Shastri is saying effectively here is what the BCCI has been saying. All I know is the medical report which says he could be in danger of injuring himself again, and that if he does injure himself again, it could get worse. Ravi went on to say in that interview, and he was very lucky to get a word in given that interview, but what he actually said was, I remember myself in 91, I went back to Australia when the doctors told me I should not have gone to Australia, and I did my knee there, and I never played again for India. He went to South Africa briefly, but I remember chatting to Ravi after that, and he said the doctors told me that after 92, 93, if you play again, you could be a cripple for the rest of your life. That was a knee. This is only a hamstring. This is a hamstring. That was a knee. That was more serious because that's a big load bearing. That's a big bone. But clearly here what the doctors are saying is it could get worse if you play again. What Rohit's saying, and remember, Mumbai Indians would have the finest, as Joy said, the finest medical advice available to them. What they are saying is, maybe we'll strap you and play. Andre Russell, grade 2 hamstring tear, strapped, played the other day and turned the game around with Owen Morgan, which allowed Kolkata to be alive. But Andre Russell is going to go in for an 8-week rest immediately after this. He's not going to play any more cricket for the next 8 or 10 weeks. Whereas Rohit needs to go and play a very tough, big series. Look, India won in Australia last year, and this is a tougher Australian side. There is no greater tour for India to win than Australia, far bigger than England. So this is a huge statement that Rohit himself is making, saying, look, I think I can play. Now the question is, if I can play 70%, that might be good enough to play for MI on a big day. Remember the way Tendulkar played the 2010 final. No human being on earth would have played that final, but Tendulkar did. But if you have to go on tour, you can't say, look, I'm 70%, but I can go on tour. So he's just taken all the spotlight of this game onto himself.